All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really cool cinematic thought experiment. I mean, what would happen if an ordinary person, someone just like you or me, was handed absolute power for just 24 hours? Let's get into it.
So what could you really change in just one day? It's a huge question, right? And we're going to explore it by looking at the story of this guy, Shivaji Rao. He's a TV reporter, and his whole world gets turned upside down when he challenges the chief minister on live TV. And the CM's response? He basically says, you think you can do better? Fine, you've got the job. But, and this is a big but, it's only for one day.
Okay, first things first, how is something like this even possible? Well, it all kicks off when the current chief minister gets backed into a corner during a live TV interview. And he makes this, well, it's a bold offer for sure, but it's also really, really cynical. So, let's break this down. On the one hand, you've got the legality of it. And believe it or not, it's kind of plausible. The Constitution has these things called special ordinances, and there have even been some real-world examples of this happening. But the real reason, the motivation behind it, that has nothing to do with the law. It's pure political gamesmanship. See, the chief minister is making a bet. He's betting that Shivaji is going to fail and fail big time. He wants to prove that, it's easy to sit on the sidelines and criticize, but actually governing is hard. This isn't about giving someone a chance. It's all about making himself look better in the end.
Yeah, so that's the key thing to get here. This is not a genuine offer of power. Not at all. It is a trap, plain and simple. The whole thing is engineered to make our guy look completely incompetent, and in doing so, shut down anyone who dares to criticize the government in the future.
But here's where the plan goes off the rails for the old CM. Shivaji doesn't waste a single second. He's not sitting around reading manuals or asking, what does this button do? Nope. His very first move? He calls a meeting with the entire top bureaucracy of the state. Immediately.
And his diagnosis of what's wrong is just swift and brilliant. He gets it right away. He sees that the problem isn't just a few bad apples, It's the whole system that's rotten. And he breaks it down into three groups of people causing all the trouble. First, you've got the ones who just don't do their jobs honestly. Second, the ones who actively stop others from being honest. And third, the ones who flat out abuse their power for their own benefit. And this is the best part. He's not just making speeches. He's all about action. He demands every single complaint file against corrupt officials, the ones that have been collecting dust in a back room for years. He wants them on his desk right now. And then he drops the hammer. Anyone who's even a minute late bringing those files, well, they're going to have a brand new file opened up with their name on it.
So, after completely shaking things up inside the government, what does he do next? He takes the fight straight to the streets. He zeroes in on this massive, deeply rooted housing crisis. And this is smart, because it shows everyone that his reforms aren't just about shuffling papers around. No, this is about delivering real justice directly to the people who need it most.
And what he uncovers is it's staggering. Get this. The government officially built and allocated 1,680 homes for the city's poorest families. But how many of those families actually got a home? 20. Just 20. The rest? They just disappeared, swallowed up by the corrupt system.
And this is where you really see how the whole scam works, how systematic it is. It's like a multi-level heist, for real. Step 1, the politicians just straight up seize half the land. Then, step 2, government officials and their buddies swoop in and take 3/4 of the actual houses that get built. So by the time the whole corrupt process is over, the very people this was all supposed to help are left with, well, basically nothing. Scraps if they're lucky.
So when he confronts the guy in charge, the director of the slum board, what do you think he does? Does he schedule a hearing, start a long, drawn-out investigation? Nope. He suspends him right there on the spot. And then he turns to the police commissioner and tells him to start moving the rightful owners into their homes. Not next week, not tomorrow, but right now.
Okay, so Shivaji knows that you can't just fix things from the top down. For real, lasting change, you need the public on your side. You need everyone to participate. So for his next big move, he turns his attention to the economy, and he makes a really simple appeal, directly to the people. He takes what can be a really complex economic issue, sales tax, and he just breaks it right down into something anybody can understand. He uses a perfect example, buying gold. He explains that on that purchase, just a tiny 4% of the sale is what the government is supposed to get. That's its rightful share. And this is where it gets really interesting, because you can see the impact of one simple choice. Think about it. When you buy something and don't ask for a bill, maybe to save a few bucks, what happens? Well, 100% of that money becomes black money for the seller. The government, and by extension all of us, we get zero. But if you get a bill, that 4% goes straight to the state, funding things we all use, like roads, schools, and hospitals.
And to prove this isn't just some abstract idea, he goes and exposes a local shopkeeper who's cheating his customers with hidden magnets and rigged scales. But here's the real kicker. A quick bit of math shows that from this one little scam, this shopkeeper is making more money, illegally, than the chief minister's official salary. It's just a perfect, tiny example of the massive, systemic greed that he's up against.
All right, so after this absolute whirlwind of a day, 24 hours of nonstop, decisive action, what's the result? What kind of legacy can a chief minister even have in just one day? So let's just quickly recap his strategy for the day, because it was brilliant. He started from the inside, right? Tackling the bureaucracy head-on with those mass suspensions to create instant accountability. Then he took it outside, to the streets, delivering that very real, very tangible justice with the housing crisis. And finally, he empowered the people themselves to join the fight against tax evasion. You see how each action builds on the one before it? It created this incredible wave of reform.
You know, Shivaji Rao's one day as chief minister is more than just a story. It's a really powerful statement. It shows that with a crystal clear vision, and more importantly, the unwavering will to actually act on that vision, one person really can shake a corrupt system right to its core. And it leaves all of us with a pretty critical question to think about. When it comes to making real change, is the biggest problem the amount of time we have, or is it the will to actually use the time we've got?